recording yet?
Y'all know that. I'm here with Larry. Tell us first of all who you are, Larry.
Last name?
What you want to tell us? This is on you.
Okay. Well, my name is Larry. My friends call me Larry. Coincidentally, my buddy Fred, when he answers the phone, he goes, "Hello, Lawrence."
All right.
So, only a selected few call me Lawrence. But I am just 2 weeks shy of my 64th birthday.
Okay.
And I'm retired a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
And I am so enjoying life because I feel like a teenager.
All right. I know what that feeling is. I retired at 62, so I know.
Life is good.
Yes.
You know, I get a monthly allowance every month.
Right.
And, I have my hobbies. I have my beautiful wife. I have my health.
Okay.
So far.
Yeah.
And life is good.
Good to hear. It's good to hear. It kind of went the same way with me, except for once I moved up here, I started growing. I started changing. And I think it's inspirational type of changes that happened to me, and they led me to Arville. Arville led me in the front doors, and I've been there ever since. So that led me to you.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was a miracle, actually. I've had a couple of miracles in my life, you know, and everybody says, the things they remember is their kids being born, and that was a miracle, and that was, you know.
Right.
But the first miracle was getting the job that I got that enabled me to work long enough to get a pension and see a light at the end of the tunnel instead of working myself.
What job was that?
I worked for the Golden Gate Bridge as a transit.
In Frisco?
Yeah. Transit operator, fancy name for a bus driver.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah. And I was there for 15 years. 5 of those years I was in the training department teaching drivers. And, you know, I didn't like the job. I love to drive, but when you do it for a living and it's that type of...
It's work.
It's a lot of work. And I was really praying for my retirement.
Okay.
And then, you know, my dad used to say, don't wish your life away. Take it a day at a time.
Right.
It'll be there before you know it.
Right.
And, of course, I remember my grandmother always saying, and I didn't understand it as a kid, but I do now, life is like a roll of toilet paper. Uh-huh. The closer to the end, the faster it goes.
Oh.
So, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I can relate to that now. But anyway.
That's who Larry is.
Yeah. And I did my job well. I mean, trained drivers that still on Facebook, they say the things that you said that stuck with me and resonated. And, you know, I said, you got 2 choices. You can either love it or hate it. And if you hate it, you got to fake it till you make it, because you won't survive in this business dealing with the public.
Right.
And, you know, so I was told many times that, oh, you must love your job. And I said, well, they bought it.
Right.
Because it would, you know, my passengers, my feelings were genuine. You know, I used to set the tone and smile.
Okay.
And good morning or have a good evening.
Right.
And, you know, we were on our merry way. I'll see you tomorrow. But I was counting the days.
Right.
And now this is me time. And The only thing I've taken with me is I still get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I can't, and my cats and I cannot break out of the morning
Your body
routine.
clock got set in there.
Exactly. So, I used to beat myself up about that and say, gosh, when am I going to get normal? And
Right.
it is what it is.
Right. That is normal for you.
That is normal for me. I love it.
Right.
No denying it. I go to bed early enough to get my full night's sleep. But anyway, here we are in Cottonwood, and my friend Fred,
Okay.
my black friend, said to me, he said, "Where are you moving to in Arizona?" I said, "A little town called Cottonwood." And I didn't think of this, but he did. He said, sounds pretty white to me.
That's what I was thinking.
It's okay. It's a great little town. Okay, and
It's not so white anymore.
it's more diverse
here.
than
Okay.
more diverse than I actually thought. So before we moved here, in my whole career at Golden Gate, I grew my hair, and it was pretty long for over 10 years. And I decided, we're moving to Cottonwood. It's a conservative area. Let's get a conservative haircut and see what it's like. And I did that, and I decided to grow it again because of the diversity.
Right.
And
plus, that's you.
yeah, one of the reasons why I grew my hair was I love the history of the Native Americans. I'm not a scholar on it by any stretch. Excuse me.
I don't think you have to be.
No, you don't have to be.
To appreciate something, you can just appreciate.
Exactly, and that's what it is. It's an appreciation. So it made an impact on me when I heard about the Americanization of the Native Americans and how they were forced to cut their hair and go to our schools and so on. And I thought, that was just wrong. So if I was able to, and I was with the Bridge District, to grow my hair, I said, to me, this is my tribute to the Native American. And besides that, I have hair.
Okay, right.
To grow.
You can grow.
Yeah, so, all of that.
And not to be too negative, but every culture that the European culture came across, it did the same way. They devastated my culture, Africans. They devastated the Asians. They brought them over here, worked them, threw them in internment camps when things got sour.
That's right.
Came over here, took the Native Americans' land, threw them in internment camps. Look what they did to Hawaii.
Yeah.
There's nothing left there but the hula skirt, and the parties
That's
that they
right.
throw.
Yeah.
So they just devastate everything. So all of us have a bond. We all been through hell.
Yeah.
And there's I hear the word synchronicity. That's there. We kind of sync up. We got so much in common, and we got so far to grow, but we've got so much strength because we survived all that.
Exactly.
And I applaud the Asian culture, especially the Japanese. They survived 2 nuclear blasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Those people are strong at heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have my respect, so I
Oh,
kind of
sure.
honor them as okay, brothers.
Yeah, yeah. And
So I see what you're saying. I recognize that it's a form of a tribute. You say, okay, and it's a form of protest too. You're saying, that wasn't good.
Yeah, more than a protest, it's a tribute. I think.
Just okay. Tribute.
Okay, because I do have facial hair and I grow a beard. Okay, and my cousin-in-law Yona, who is a full-blooded Cherokee, married to a full-blooded Italian.
Okay.
Okay, the conquered and the conqueror.
Right.
All right, they're very much in love.
Right.
I said that he has a beautiful beard and he has long, flowing white hair. And I said to him, every photograph you see or drawing of Native Americans are all clean shaven and they look like they've never developed facial hair.
Right.
I said, how come you have a beard and why do I see them in person and they have facial hair? He said, well, a long time ago, we were here minding our own business.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the ship came over, a bunch of Europeans, they started screwing around with our women, la-di-da-di-da-di, and I have a beard.
Right.
It's like, okay, what a stupid question.
Okay.
But anyway, and then Arva was telling me that the women used to pluck the hairs out of the men's face so that they would stay clean shaven. Anyway,
that sounds painful.
Yeah. It sounds it's like a bikini wax. I guess it's very painful. But that situation with my cousin-in-law and how devoted my Italian cousin is to him got me curious, and our conversations were very knowledgeable about the Native American, and I just grew more respectful. Mm-hmm. And I read the White Bison every day because it's from different chiefs, scholars of different tribes, mm-hmm. and it always applies. It actually parallels what I read in the Bible. Okay, so it's all good. It's all good. We're all a common denominator.
Yeah, we're all brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
When you cut through the bull, we all come out of the same stuff, the same place.
Exactly. You know, Gary, I was very lucky in that my father, especially my father, was not a prejudiced man. Okay, and he taught us. I don't even think he knew he was teaching us to love everyone. Okay, not that I didn't. He had a temper. He was all Italian, and he had his things. But when it came to a person, he just didn't have that prejudice. And I learned it early on when my dad was part of a YMCA theater troupe in Newark, New Jersey.
I know Newark.
Okay, and it was just after the race riots, okay, in the 60s. And
I know those.
My dad had a good friend, his name was Tom Campbell, and they had 3 daughters, gorgeous girls. Oh, yeah. Okay, beautiful girls. And we lived in an Italian neighborhood in Newark. And my dad invited them for dinner. We had them for Sunday dinner. And us kids, me and my brothers, got such a rash of crap from the kids in the neighborhood. And then the parents were asking us kids, right,
going on here?
Are you, something to the effect of, we didn't know you were making enough money to have a maid and a cook. Right. And it was like, what are they talking about? What are they? Years later, it's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine? So
we had to fight our way in and out of Italian neighborhoods back then.
Sure.
Because it was just so much racism.
And then, I'm saying Italian because that's what I am. I'm also Irish and German. My mother was Irish and German.
I got that too.
Okay, so there was that side. I can never understand how a persecuted group of people, say the Irish, say the Italians, that were looked down upon as the lowest of society, could then look down even further. In other words, there's got to be something lower than us, because that's the only way that we can make ourselves.
Right.
This is kindergarten stuff.
Right.
Oh, that's Tilly. This is my mistress.
Okay, cutie pie.
Come on, Tills. I forgot about Tilly.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The world
Oh,
can get to
Tilly.
meet her too.
Yeah.
So.
That's my little girl.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, that being in my heart, I've always been a seeker of God, the Great Spirit, divineness. And I was born and raised a Catholic, okay, which I draw a lot of humor from. And it's nothing against Catholicism because my daughter, who I didn't raise my kids religiously, to any religion. I chose not to do that. I thought when they're old enough to make their own mind up,
They'll find their own way.
Exactly. Well, my oldest daughter said, "Dad, I'm converting. I want to become a Catholic." I said,
Right.
"Wow." I gave her all the power in the world. I said, "God bless you." I was so proud of her. You know, so me being raised a Catholic, I drifted away. And I eventually went to a Bible church that I was born again and I was water baptized and accepted Christ as my Savior. And I thought, oh, I've arrived. I'm in a safe place,
Right.
okay? And yet I was disillusioned because of the hypocrisy of just the people that I was around,
Right.
okay? And I looked to the Bible for answers, and there was too many contradictions, and I just got turned away, and I said, I'll deal with that later.
Right.
But I've always been seeking and kept my belief in a higher power. Then I met my third wife, Jan, and she was involved in an organization that was, I'm going to call it Hindu-esque,
Okay.
because they believed in soul evolution, and it intrigued me. It made more sense to me. So as we were dating and she was involved in that, I naturally was curious and followed with her, and I learned a lot about that. So by and by, we come to Cottonwood and we go to the Center of Universal Light, and I sat there and I said, another church, another attempt. What's this all about? Okay, and I got an aisle seat because that's the closest to the door.
Okay.
All right, they seemed nice enough, and it was just when Arvil and Kimberly had started CUL,
Okay.
so they were really just very rusty, but I liked it.
Stumbling their way through.
Exactly. Well, we still
Okay.
stumble, but it's it's a little bit more of an organized
Right.
stumble.
Right.
But
Kind of like what I do when I come up here and talk. I stumble.
well, everybody does. But what it does is it's not an infomercial.
Right.
Okay, it's not rehearsed. I mean, we have a schedule. I mean, an outline every Sunday. But sometimes you use the wrong grammar.
I know.
And
I just do me.
exactly.
Regardless of what that is, that's all I got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. And it what it did to me was I liked it.
Okay.
So let's go back next week, see if it's the same, and it was consistent, and I just love the energy there because I'm thinking, well, what's their message? They're not trying to sell me a message. They're saying that whatever you're sitting on, we respect, okay? We are humanity.
Whatever the hell
What
that means.
does that mean?
Mhm.
All right, that sounds like, coming from New Jersey, I was always like, all right, that's it. Now I'm skeptical, and all right.
It's an infomercial.
Exactly.
To get
It
your
was,
money.
it was one of those things where that's it. All right, so what do you mean by humanity?
Right.
All right. So as time went on, I started to understand that I was just drawn to the humanity part.
Right.
Okay, because I some conversations I had with folks there is, well, I don't really believe in God. I'm just getting used to maybe this universal power.
Right.
But I looked in their eyes and I said, yeah, but I see a beautiful soul there.
Right.
Okay, so I'm starting to understand this humanity thing, and God is saying, that's right. All right, religion is just storefronts.
Right.
Okay, and they're selling something, and that's okay.
And you're window shopping.
Oh, all right, and you can buy,
Right.
but move on to the next one, and
Right.
but it's all the same message if you
Right.
dig deep enough. But you're getting it.
Right.
Okay, so with that, I've been in. My parents died in 2011, and shortly after that, I was the executor to the estate, and it was a monumental task. Not that my parents had a lot of money, but you would have thought that they were the Rockefellers, the way money was fought over. Okay, it was.
How many brothers and sisters?
I'm the oldest of three boys.
Okay.
Okay, I have a middle brother, and who's 4 years younger, and another brother who's 8 years younger. So we were like 4 years apart of each other. And without getting into that whole thing, it was ugly. And I was told that, and I was told that by a friend who said, "Oh, I don't envy you at all.
Right.
This is gonna." I said, "Not me. I mean, my middle brother was alienated a while ago, but my youngest brother and I worked for the bridge. He still works for the bridge, and we were close. We were tight.
Mm-hmm.
But there was issues there, not between he and I thought at the time. It was his wife and the dynamics of the family. Okay, so when there was nobody there, the matriarch and the patriarch are both gone, and we were left to our own resources. Okay, what boiled down to was, well, this is what is their will. This is what we have to do.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
we're all going to come out, but this is the way it's going to be. And I stuck to the will.
Okay.
And my youngest brother turned on me, and I was accused of being a thief, and it just got ugly.
Right.
So I was in a real way. I was mourning, and I was very hurt by the way I was being treated. My wife suggested that you really need to talk to someone other than family and friends.
Right.
So I went to a therapist. And when my brother found out, my youngest brother found out, he said, well, that's typical of Larry. He doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. And I thought, well, that's typical of our family. We always used to say, we'll handle it.
Right.
We don't need any outside help. Okay? And when we needed it most is when we shunned it the hardest. So anyway, I've been in therapy for 8 years with this gal that I met. She's become a good friend.
Are you still in there?
Oh yeah. I cut it back. She kind of led me to seek my spirituality, which I thought was unusual. But she said, I could just tell that you are searching for something,
Right.
but you have to go beyond yourself. Okay?
Right.
And with that push, it was easier to accept. So it was like a perfect storm.
Okay.
Come to Cottonwood, and we see Arville in concert,
Right.
and I was blown away. And then, he's the one that is the on the board up there. He's got this ministry.
Right.
Let's check it out. I mean, he's Native American, All right, so he's got that going for him.
Right.
So that's what I was attracted to, and it put me where I am today, which is in a constant state of growth.
Right. Same here. Yeah.
So you and I
Right.
can relate to, boy, I think we found the promised land,
I think so.
so to speak.
Right.
And
I think that's what made us hit it off right then, because we had that in common. And I think we both saw that. I saw it. That's why I'm here now talking to you, giving you the opportunity to do like I do and stand up there and spill your little heart out.
Yeah.
You know, talk about what's important. And,
sure.
you know,
And, it's like in our men's group, there's no fixing of each other.
because we're not broke.
Well, even if we are.
I don't believe we're broke. I think we are supposed to be like we are.
Yeah.
And those differences help us all grow.
Exactly.
It helps. If we were all the same, it would be a crummy place, man.
Oh, sure.
You know, I wouldn't want to always have to blame it on you, no matter what I did. Oh, no, it was Larry. Because we'd be the same.
Yeah. Exactly. It would be so easy to do that.
Right. Oh, no, that was Larry.
Exactly. Well, it just seems that setbacks, let's call them setbacks,
Right.
which we have every day,
Yes.
all right? And we have a choice of either getting upset about it,
Yeah.
and if you do, you do, but you get over it instantaneously to a positive. It doesn't ruin your day, so to speak,
Right.
okay? And it is growth, and everybody's got their shit.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
everybody, and that's what life is all about.
Right.
Some people make poor choices, and that's what I'm saying is
Right.
the choices that you make, that I've made, I'll keep it in the first person because
Right. That's the best way.
yes, that's what I'm saying is not being able to fix somebody except that by relation.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to feel pain, your pain, because I felt that pain.
Right. Right.
So
I have learned, you said situations come in, sometimes they go sour. I have learned to associate that with my yin yang of my Taoism. And every time an event pops up, no matter how it starts out, it always turns out beneficial to me.
yeah,
It always changes, just like yin yang always says it does. It's going to change. There's good in everything. And there's something you need here. All you have to do is calm down, open your eyes, and you see it.
yeah.
You know?
I was prone to anxiety
Okay.
and had a couple of panic attacks. And
What is a panic attack? Tell us.
well, it's when you get it starts when you get anxious, when you worry, when the mind.
When you were.
Yes. When I was worried.
Right. What's that feel like?
Well, it's the monkey on caffeine in your head. It's
Bouncing off the wall?
yeah, it's one of those things where you can't. I can't calm down mentally. You're racing, and it's like plates. Like the guy in the Ed Sullivan Show. It's like, here goes that one. Come on,
Right.
and then he puts more up, and it gets crazy.
Right.
So it starts like that, and if it's allowed to go on,
That could drain you.
yeah, it drains you of your energy. It starts to affect you physically.
Yeah, your immune system shuts down. Everything goes.
Your
Yes.
heart rate goes up. When your
Yes.
heart rate goes up, you start breathing faster.
Right.
It affects your breathing.
Yes.
Okay, and then you get into a point where the sky is falling.
Okay.
That's the only way I can describe it. Is you need to breathe. So I go outside and I take a walk so I can take some deep breaths. And it's pretty scary because it feeds on itself. Because you don't know, I don't know when it's going to stop. Okay? And I haven't had one in a while. I always measure things on a scale from 1 to 10. I've had panic attacks that have gone as high as an 8 and stayed there. And that's when you call the doctor, you're worried. But the most I've had them is maybe a 5. Okay, but it's still you know when they're coming on. I know when they're coming on, and I have to nip it in the bud. Like, okay, what is this all about?
Right.
Okay, and you go back to the simple things like, well, I'm worried about this. Well, let's think about, and everything that you've learned, let's draw on to feed that anxiety, that worry. Right. All right, so now it's not as bad and it starts to subside. One of the things that helped was Jan and I through CUL with John and Sue Love. They did a class on tapping.
Yeah.
What the hell is tapping? All right, here's something new that I never heard of.
Right.
And there's a series of tapping that you do
Different
physically.
spots, yeah.
That work on parameters that are in your body. And, you know, I used to take a ball and toss it back and forth because it would divert my mind to my worry to this action.
Right.
Okay? And it would help.
Okay.
So it's, you hear the wheeze I have in my my throat. You hear that? Anyway. So the tapping was an exercise, and it was very useful. It was a tool.
Right.
So whenever I was feeling a little anxious or worried, I would tap.
Okay.
And it was like, wow, this is a magic pill, practically.
Okay.
So anyway, it was just...
Sounds cool.
The other tool that I used to use for that was alcohol, self-medicating. Okay?
I still do that. I love Hennessy. I'll get me a nice little, and a smoke weed.
You know, I liked it too much. That's my problem. I was raised with alcohol. I was a bartender for many years.
Yeah.
And I just had this addictive personality where I was in a constant state of trying to manage it and be a social drinker. And I just, it was like an old girlfriend.
You felt comfortable.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Still want to leave. No
Baby, I'll give you
matter
anything you
what
want. You know, you're just not going to do her anytime. Anytime. Okay? So she was there in my toolbox, and then the bitch got ugly.
Okay.
Okay? And I said, I don't need you anymore as a friend.
Right.
And, you know, that's a struggle every day, although what I really enjoy is being sober enough to recognize me.
Okay.
All right? And looking in the mirror.
And saying, I like my smile.
Yes, exactly. And saying, you know,
me.
geez, I used to look in the mirror and find all the faults in my, look at this.
Right.
Yeah.
Same here.
All right?
Same here.
And, you know, people would say, oh, you're so handsome. Well, I can't hear that enough. Tell me more and more, because I look in the mirror and I don't see it.
Right.
You know? And then the alcohol would make me uglier. All right? It was a temporary thing, but you can't use the same tool like a big friggin' hammer when you need a wrench and a
everything
screwdriver.
ain't a nail. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So it was one of those tools that it's in there, but I don't use it anymore.
Okay.
It's gotten very dusty, and
Right.
I may sell it. And that's the other thing too is I always had a sense of humor. I love to laugh, and I find funny in a lot of things.
Right.
I can be very dramatic in serious things, but I just love. I'm lighthearted.
I know we could tell by your remarks. You pull them out of the air sometimes, and they're good. They break the tension. They keep us from getting too serious.
Exactly.
Because there's people there with lots of problems.
Sure.
So that's needed, and you supply that. You're our guy on the corner selling drugs to us. Hey, you need some of this.
The first one's free.
Yeah. But really, it is helpful.
Well,
It's a beautiful thing. That's why you're MC.
Well,
how'd you get to be MC?
Oh, I don't know. I was working the camera. Oh, actually, I was a greeter. We were Jan and I.
Okay.
And it's funny because Arvel would say, "I need a volunteer to read the Earth Prayer." And
He's gonna call me, damn it. All right.
Whatever. And he never picked me,
Mm-hmm.
but I would have done it if he asked me. But I didn't want to do any of that.
Right.
So then we were asked to be greeters,
Right.
and I always, as a bartender and the bus driver, set the tone.
Right.
And that's what greeters do, is you set the tone.
You're the first one they see when
All
they
right.
come in.
I wasn't
still that way.
It's still that way.
It's still
it's
that
a
way.
very important job.
Right.
But job, it's
No,
a
it's a
privilege.
job.
Well,
It's a job, man. You do it well.
you don't. Well, the thing is, a greeter, you don't ask the one that is hurting or in pain, because you're asking them to. I mean, you could, but because it may be helpful to them. But most people, I'll greet. They're in a good mood. They're glad to be there. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy for them to resonate that positive to
Right.
people who come in the door. Let's greet them with a smile.
Right.
Set the tone.
Right.
Welcome to see you well.
Right.
So we did that, and I enjoyed that. We did that for a couple of weeks, and then Kimberly asked if I knew anything about the camera, and I knew that there's a record button, and
Right.
it was easy enough.
Right.
So it was Jim Joseph, Dito, and myself. We would alternate weeks doing the camera, and I enjoyed that. And it was just one of those things where it was easier to volunteer for things once that ice was broken.
Right.
Okay? And then Kimberly and Arvel approached me and said, we go on tour, the two of us, from time to time, and we don't want to cancel service.
Right.
Would you be willing to? I said, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I said, yeah, I guess I can.
Yeah.
It's simple enough, and I was nervous as hell doing it because you want to be perfect.
I know.
You just don't want to fumble around.
I heard that in your call that last time you did, and I told you, and I meant it. If you need me, if somebody steps out, I'm 3 minutes away.
Yeah.
I could come right then.
Yeah.
I won't let you down. I'm your partner, man. We friends. So, brothers.
That's exactly right. And right till the service started, I had that ace in my pocket.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
And I'll come through every time because that's what brothers do.
Exactly.
I'm not like your little brother. I'll never turn on you, because we both have the same goal here. We're trying to help.
Exactly.
That's my whole motive there. I am trying my best to be helpful.
That's what I'm trying to do too. It's I can't explain it in that Does it feel good? It feels great.
Yes.
You know, and this is what you want to do. You want to be happy. People want to be happy. It makes me happy. It makes me feel good. And you just get so excited, enthusiastic about the feel good. You want to pass it on.
Right.
You know, shake people into feeling good. It's great, man. It's great.
I told you.
You know, well, you know, the expression, you can pick your friends, but you can't
Pick your family.
pick your family.
Right.
And that's so true. I mean, you know, when we were fighting, my dad's brother and my uncle said, hey, you know, this is La Familia. We have to stick together. I said, there was a time when I believed that, but that's bullshit.
Right.
All right? You know, blood is thicker than water, but you can only extend an olive branch for so long and have it slapped away that, like, wait a minute.
Right.
I guess I was the smartest one of all the siblings because I realized that this ain't going to work.
Right.
All right?
Right.
And, you know, my youngest brother said to me, you know, he's our blood, talking about my middle brother.
Right.
And we need to come together. And I said to him, I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take care of the business at hand with the will,
Right.
okay? You and I, all right? Because he said, I want to help you. And I said, I want your help, all right? But don't throw curveballs at me trying to change things.
Right.
We'll sing Kumbaya after,
Right. When it's all done.
all right?
Just,
And we would have treated the middle brother much better if it went that way. But I said, no, that's not the way Pop wanted it.
Right.
All right. Because I have a will and I have it written out and I want to, you do that for a reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And that's the business at hand.
Right.
Do that first and then take care of the other stuff.
Right.
With family, I just was, oh, where are you moving to in Arizona? Now, this isn't Fred. This is the family. And I said, my kids, actually. I said, oh, it's a little town. It's called Leave Me the Hell Alone, Arizona. Okay?
Right. And it's hot there.
And you want to come, whatever happened to Dad, you come and see me. All right? So, and that's
Cool.
pretty much the way it is.
Well, my stance with family has always been, I love them. I don't have to like them.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Same with my kids. I love every one of them. Some of them do some things that I don't like, but they're being them.
Mm-hmm.
And I have learned to accept people for what they are. And that was hard for me. Because, you know, a lot of times they piss you off.
Oh, man.
And then you say, well, okay, I don't really have a right to be mad at them.
Yeah.
You know, they're just being themselves. You make the best decisions you can at the time with what you have, you know, and if you knew better, you would do better. And
of course.
So they're just being themselves. So I leave them alone. I love them. If any of them come to me for anything, I'm there. I'm their father. You know, I'm their brother. You know, I'm there.
Yes, exactly.
But beyond that, don't count on me for nothing because I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. I remember telling my kids, I will always help you out, but I'm not going to bail you out.
Right.
All right. So, you know.
You're on your own. You get in trouble like that.
And, you know, if push came to shove and they were in trouble the first time, you'd be there.
Of course.
But it's one of those enabling things where you keep feeding that tiger. No, I wasn't about to do that.
Right.
And nobody goes to school to be a parent.
True.
Okay, you learn.
The first one breaks you. The second one, you learn from it because you've been broken already.
Tell me about it. Being the oldest,
Right.
oh my gosh, everything was tested on me.
Right.
By the time they got to my youngest brother, they wore, especially my mom, out.
Right.
He was spoiled rotten.
Right.
Okay?
You
So,
guys
no,
broke
yeah,
them.
yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. But you know, we're not taught how to parent. We learn from our parents. We draw from the well. If we like it, we like it. If we don't, we put it back.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I didn't raise my kids with any religion, because, come on, it's Sunday, you know, go to church. I wanted to sleep in. All right, I had catechism on Saturday and Monday through Friday at school. Don't I ever get a day off? I don't want to go to church.
Right.
So I was forced to go to church, and my parents slept in.
Okay.
What the hell is that all about?
Right.
All right?
Right.
You know, so I thought, in fact, my oldest daughter's middle name was Faith, because I was at that time in the Bible church, and I was just, even though I was very much into that, I said, I am not going to force this on her, you know. Just didn't do it. So you learn from your parents to be a parent, all right?
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
And it could go both ways,
Yes.
you know.
Generally does.
My mother was a boozer,
Okay.
all right? And her family booze was their thing,
Okay.
okay? And I could have gone both ways, or either way, I should say, where as a child of an alcoholic, you either say, I don't want to even be part of that, or you choose to be part of that,
Right.
okay? Now, both of my brothers didn't have a problem with alcohol. I was the one that did, but that was my choice,
Right.
okay? So, I remember a family outing that we had, where my mother and I were opening up another bottle of wine. We were the two drunks in the family, and that's what I told my mom. I said, because my father, he wasn't a drinker either, and he'd look and he'd say, oh, another bottle they're opening. I said, don't worry about it, Mom. We're the lushes of the family, you know. You know, and we were good drinking buddies. But you know, that's a choice.
Right.
You know.
I hear you.
So when somebody has a problem with alcohol, yeah, I can relate to it. Any addiction,
Right.
you pick your poison.
Right.
Thank God. I used to think, thank God I'm not a gambler. I can't relate to gambling.
Right.
All right, I just don't.
And he's saying the same thing about booze.
Exactly. How could you? I could
Right.
stand the taste of
Right.
it. Any addiction.
Right.
But it is an addiction, so that's the common denominator,
Right.
you know? Anyway, it's one of those things that I can help somebody relate to.
Right.
And, you know, when I go to see Well and say, I'm home, I feel like I'm with my friends, like this is our Sunday.
Right.
And I look for people, where's someone, you know, you miss people when they don't,
Right.
when they're not there.
Right.
And I never felt that way before,
Right.
you know?
People have been saying that to me, and it feels good, and I feel like I'm finally making some sort of connection.
You are missed. And isn't that a great feeling to know that, well, somebody's thinking about me?
And that just means my message that I'm bringing, the way I'm presenting it to them, my personality, which is part of my message, they're getting it.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I love the most. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is, it's a gift.
Okay.
It is a gift.
Right.
You wonder what artists, musical, they say, well, that's a gift from God, that
Right.
talent that they
That's
have.
what
Well,
they say.
you know something, we all have a talent. And if you can change somebody's life for a good, positive,
Right.
okay, that's a talent.
That's a talent.
And that's God-given, and that is a gift.
You got it.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%.
I don't like to be dogmatic, but that's the way I feel, man.
Okay.
You know,
and I'm going to end on that note.
All right.